Minion in! What's up, you guys? Lately, I know it's been more opinion videos than guides, and I apologize if that's not the content you guys want from me. Feel free to leave me a comment to let me know your thoughts on that. So maybe I'll be done with opinion pieces after this one. Fingers crossed, right? I'm doing this one because I believe to have identified the single most pressing balance issue that Bless Unleashed is facing right now. And I want to talk about it and brainstorm solutions. So let's do this. Okay, so here it is. And this is my opinion based on observation, not necessarily fact. So, grain of salt this, okay, you guys? In my opinion, the single greatest progression wall in existence right now is that you need good gear in order to get good gear. You probably already know what that means, but let me elaborate. The biggest balance issue that the game has and is holding everything back, like the pin that everything rests on in my opinion, is that any gear you can acquire on your own in the game first requires you to already have that gear. And I'm sure you've noticed that 99% of the gear you pick up is worse than what you're wearing. Drops are for salvaging. End of. The standard for upgrading from C to B gear is to save up star seeds and buy it on the player market. And you quickly get used to accepting that that is how things are, but it is not how things should be. You should be able to run content at the top of your gear and level range and be rewarded with gear slightly better than what you currently have. An even bigger and much more major progression wall is moving from B to A gear, because people at the top who have the A gear to sell are controlling the market. And they can because we depend on them, as A gear drops from dungeons that you aren't really ready for until you're actually wearing A gear. So the most realistic method for upgrading is to buy A gear from the market. If A gear were just slightly more accessible, we could all stand on our own 2 feet. Upgrades come from players, and that creates a harmful monopoly. Our game has a 1%, and that's not cool. Not to get all Bernie Sanders on you guys, but it's a shitty distribution of wealth. It means unless lobies work disproportionately hard, their progress is dependent upon the goodwill of the people at the top. And by that I mean those people that keep the market prices high by buying low-priced A gear and putting it right back on the market for a higher price. That is a thing that's happening. It always struck me as weird that no matter what map you go onto, if it has weapons and armor merchants, all they sell is grade D rank gear. Even in Eidolon. Who needs that in Eidolon? What's the point? So here's my solution, and let me know in comments if you agree, if you think I'm wrong, and I imagine this might rub some of those 1%ers the wrong way. But here goes. People complain that this is an idle waiting game, and I myself have spent a few weeks here and there just doing my seed exchange and then logging back out to wait for tomorrow's seed exchange. The main reason why so many people complain that this is an idle or waiting game is because so many people feel like they can't progress at all until they have enough star seeds to buy used gear from higher ranked players. A real fix would take some serious rebalancing work. They would have to look at the minimum requirement and average gear score that is being used to successfully run dungeons, and then make sure those dungeon rewards include gear score that is slightly better than that. But the big fix that would fix the monopoly and the economy in this game, if they simply introduced a merchant that sold gray A-grade equipment for like 500,000 star seeds apiece, or even better, not even star seeds, so you can't play the waiting game, but something like sigils that only drop for people wearing high-rank B gear, then we'd still have to work for it, but it would take the power from the 1% and give it back to the people. Anyway, that's my take. I sincerely believe that if this issue becomes balanced, it will have a cascade or domino effect that will fix so many other problems. That's what I think anyway. Minion out.